Tech Next conference, which is where industry leaders have come together to share best practices and the latest new innovations, learn from one another about what's next in industry, how to become more efficient, improve safety, lower emissions, and do things as technologically sophisticated as possible. The Tech Next conference is really special because it focuses in on the industrial companies, technology in this landscape in Baton Rouge and New Orleans, Louisiana, and how we can improve together to keep our companies here and our plants globally competitive. I am most excited for our members to learn from these speakers and from one another to keep us competitive and improve safety, workforce development, and the way that we do things so that our companies can remain viable well into the future.
This is an annual event that we've been putting on for the last several years, and we're trying to, it's the Innovation Expo is the focus this year. So we're learning about all different new technologies, trying to help our industry in the greater Baton Rouge area. This event is important because it's part of our technology committee, and so we're trying to look forward for our industry. We really focus on workforce development, safety, and technology, and this is our next step to the future for GBRIA and our local workforce. The message is, I think our keynote speaker this morning put it well, be creative and learn the technologies and share, and we can grow as an industry and grow our workforce to get the needs that we need in the future.
Our region is the most robust place for petrochemical manufacturing and for our industry. So making sure that we keep our competitive edge and stay ahead of the trends and all the latest innovations is what makes us the best place to be. Well, I was just excited to see all the fruits of our labors come together. We've been working on planning this event since August, so there's been a lot of talk about refining our speaker lineup and making sure that every topic that our members want to hear is well represented. So just seeing all of that come together in this one fabulous day is super rewarding. Oh, we're very pleased with today's turnout. We've had many people show up, register, come from all different backgrounds, all different types of industries, early in their career, later in their career. We're very pleased.
We are here today to showcase the opportunities that we bring. We are with AV Solutions. AV Solutions is an audio-visual company. We take care of your inter-office needs, anything dealing with Microsoft Zoom, Teams Room. We actually take care of the TVs. We can take care of the sound system, as well as any other audio-visual needs that may be within your office.
We provide video conferencing and hybrid collaboration with a push of a button. Ease of use and reliability. Correct. Yeah.
Definitely excited to meet the people, meet everyone that's at different booths, as well as get a chance to network and to see exactly who's going to be here today. We feel like it's a variety of different organizations and different companies, which makes it very good for rub elbows with everyone.
Networking, to meet people in the industry and to see some of the innovations, like very, very interesting things that we've seen that I didn't even know existed.
This is definitely an event for the masses. Yeah. That next year we can possibly have a bigger room with more vendors so we can actually come out and celebrate as well as get to know more people. This is a well-rounded event with a variety of different companies and organizations that could actually lead to a lot of potential for other companies also.
It's incredible how quickly technology changes and how every year it seems to encompass more and more industries, and especially with the advent of AI and automation, it's exciting to see what the future is going to bring and kind of get a glimpse of some of the things here, even if we're not in the industry. Still exciting to see.
We have an emergency readiness platform for the plants. So if you work in a high hazard facility, one of the struggles that you and your leadership have is if something happens, there's a release of a chemical, there's a fire, an explosion, the things that can happen unfortunately in our industry, how do we quickly and accurately account for every soul on the plant? And right now, frankly, 80% of the plants still use some sort of a crossing names off a list manually process, and so we digitized that process. We spoke here 4 or 5 years ago about our technology, and so we heard from the industry that they're anxious to become adopters of good technology, but our industry by nature is a slower adopter. If you think about it, we're talking about people's lives, we're in a very hazardous industry, so they can't just adopt technology for the sake of it. And so it's fun to see what people are excited about. It's fun to see how much further they were than last year, and obviously AI and some of the other developments are interesting for us. I'm proud to work in the industry, though. It's an amazing group of people who are doing great work for not only the United States but all over the world.
Hi, this is Sri. I'm the co-founder of a company called InCircles. We are building a agentic AI construction management software which helps with augmenting the employee productivity to automating the processes. We are the only AI construction AI agentic platform in the industry right now, where we are bringing technology and the domain expertise together to solve the real problems and create value for our industry. Meeting peers, meeting owner groups, so it's very challenging for us to get into the facilities and pitch our solutions, but this platform will bring all of them together, so where we can present and get a chance to interact with the industry leaders. These events are great, and GBRIA is helping us to do this.
We're here today to support the greater Baton Rouge area petrochemical industry and manufacturing. As a registered engineering company, we focus on a lot of different applications through automation, 3D metal printing, and the custom machine design and build or material conveyance. This event's important, for several reasons. One, because we have a partnership in the state of Louisiana, so part of the ownership of Automation Engineering Company is based in the southern Louisiana area. And twofold, we like to support, where we're from. So it's important for us to work in Louisiana, as well as it's important for Automation Engineering Company to get out and network and get our company out in front of other potential customers that may be a fit for our business. I would just really like to thank GBRIA for having us and hosting such a great event, and look forward to coming back next year.
We are highlighting the importance of 3D printing in the petrochem space. We worked on a couple projects with Exxon, and we're going to be discussing that today. Turning 10-month lead times into 3 days and saving 85% of the cost savings. It's super important to educate multiple industries on the technology that's available and how other companies in their same categories are utilizing this to be more efficient and save time and money. I'm Jace Duga. I'm the owner and CEO of Additive Innovators, as well as the founder of Louisiana Additive Manufacturing Association. You guys in additive manufacturing, but a different type. We use additive manufacturing for 3D printing metal objects. Parts that the plants use daily, we help them solve problems, get solutions fast and very more efficient manner.
Yep, my name is Chris Beeson. I'm the additive manufacturing lead for the Baton Rouge area, and it seems somehow I've adopted the globe for support. I'm the rapid manufacturing lead for our complex and also the digital supply network lead. If you're wondering what those mean, digital supply network means that we are trying to digitize our parts rather than have them sit on the shelves in stores and have to pay inventory tax on them, especially when they're a spare part that we can wait for, right? We can print on demand and not have to pay that inventory tax on those parts. Rapid manufacturing lead means that people kind of know that we can print parts in-house and with vendors, but they don't really understand, should we machine it, should we cast it, should we print it? So they'll come to me and I'll show them, if it should be additive, if it should be machined, if it should be cast, and then if it is additive, which technology do we use and which vendors do we use to print those parts?
All right, Chris, on the screen we got a few different things. Can you explain what the digital readiness level is to everybody?
Yeah, so we talked about this last year, if a lot of people were here. We are part of a company called FieldNode. We joined them as an industry collaboration project with several other oil and gas majors. So Shell, Equinor, several big oil and gas majors were all on the platform together. We work as a team. There is a part of the platform where we actually share parts. So if it's not a strategically advantaged part, we may have a pump impeller or a pump volute or some other part that doesn't really matter, right? If it doesn't give us a competitive advantage to share or not share. So if I have not scanned and cataloged a part yet, I could actually go in there and find it and grab it and print it or cast it, whatever I want to do with it. Same for them, right? If we've already scanned it and we have it in digital inventory, they would be able to do that. But there was always a learning curve with everything that's new, right? So we're part of Field Node, and we know we can put parts in there, but how do we take it from having the parts in there to printing it? So a lot of the standards that were out there were ISO 9000 standards, and there was some language in ASTM and ASME standards for additive, but none of it really spoke well together. So what you see on the top left is the DMV standard for scanning a part and the items that you need to be able to manufacture their part. So DRL1 means that I have my scan, I have a PMI which identifies what metallurgy that the part is. I have all these things that elementary, or in an elementary version, I can print the part later. DRL3 means that this part has already been converted to a solid model. We have an inspection and test plan. It only needs a button for request for quote. All the vendor needs to print the part is already there. So DRL 1, 2, 3, there's actually a DRL 4. DRL 4 means that we've already printed a part and we've tested it to the max and qualified it. That way when we print the part again on the same machine with the same powder, if it's laser powder bed fusion, then those are already qualified and we can put those into production.
So Chris, with the digital asset now, you telling me you could share items across the globe without even shipping?
Yeah, so we have sites all over the world, Singapore being one of our biggest sites in Europe, and we can absolutely grab their part out of Field Node and print it the same day.
Wow, that's efficiency to the max. They have a couple other items on the screen right now. One of them I want to highlight is done through LSU Engineering. I don't know if they got any LSU Engineering here today. This was the capstone project from last year that won. It's a machinery anti-wicking device. Chris, can you explain the anti-wicking device and why it was developed?
Yeah, so this device goes on critical equipment, large major rotating equipment, and it keeps thermocouple wires from wicking oil all the way to the cabinet. So there's a separation plate and an O-ring in the middle, and terminal blocks are epoxied on both sides, and it just keeps the oil in the bottom of that pod and not able to migrate. They had one which was made by traditional manufacturing, by machining, and it required you to shut the machine down, to lock out, tag out the machine, to be able to perform any maintenance. So they engineered this one to be able to be worked on the run, and then the price is about equal, and there's lots of upgrades, metallurgy, lots of different upgrades. The part's lighter, several reasons why it's better.
That's awesome, man. How about the steam lance nozzles? I've seen those before. We have some of them on the table. Most of these items are on our table next door, but can you go give an overview of what the steam lance nozzle is and how it was improved by metal 3D printing?
Yeah, so this is just a commodity item, not anything in service. It's something that's put on something that's just used as a tool in the field, right? So it was made by machining in a 5-axis mill, and it was fairly expensive. So law doesn't really want me to talk about cost in these venues, but I will use some analogies. So a very large Yeti cooler is what it used to cost. And now, through additive manufacturing, it's in one piece instead of 5. So spending probably 6-8 hours on a 5-axis mill, instead of that, we can print 30-something of these at one time, and it just requires you to hit the print button and walk off, so that technician's able to go work on something else, another part. and not be charging the whole time it's printing, right, for their services. So this part is the cost of a personal Yeti cooler.
Wow, that's a good cost savings, especially if you're buying Yetis, All right, we can go on to our next project. This is one of the projects that Llama helped ExxonMobil with execute. We showing you guys really the workflow on, okay, I got this widget. What do I do with it? What's the process? So, Chris, can you walk us through the workflow of digitizing, 3D printing, and final machining?
Yeah, first off, if someone was going to tell you we're going to go speak at a conference, and I ask them, hey, what questions are you going to ask me? And they say, we're going to wing it. I kind of expect that person to let everybody know that I'm winging it. But
I'll put them on the spot every time. Like pressure.
So this Llama, first of all, if you're a plant, if you're a petrochemical plant especially, in energy or anything here, raise your hand. Okay, so you people buy parts, right? Yeah, they're expensive sometimes. They have long lead times. So we bought our own printer for our site, metal printer, and you'll see these parts on that table in the next room. The metal printer that we chose to buy specifically was at a low price, and we knew that we could make really expensive parts and cut lead times dramatically by buying this low-cost printer. So the first thing that we needed to do, though, we need to scan our part. And sometimes we scan a brand new part out of storehouse. That's easy. But sometimes we get this damaged part that's in horrible shape, and that's where the hard part comes in. And what that used to look like is we handed it to a vendor and said, please make us this. And can you give me any information, was their first question. No, we don't have drawings because the OEM owns the drawings and they won't give them to us. So do your best, please. So now we take our scanner, which Jay sold us, and Freddie is in the room, and I know you saw the 3D scanner in the next room, and you guys are probably thinking I went to an expo last year and there were 10 different brands. Well, I'm here to tell you that Creaform is the best on the market. So don't just think it's another scanner. We went to Europe last fall, and there were probably 40 different ones, and there are even some that are copying their housings to make them look like theirs. But Creaform is the gold standard. So we took our Creaform scanner, and it was so bad that I even took some modeling putty, and filled in some of the craters in it before I scanned it. I created a couple of planes on it so that the person that I was sending it to could use those planes to locate the center of the mass to continue modeling, because they had to put it on a plane. And then we sent the model to Field Node, and we told our Bangalore Technology Center, hey, we have this model in Field Node, and we need you to extract it and make it a solid model for us. And by the way, there's one impeller vein one inducer vein that looks better than the rest. It's obvious. Take that one and model the other two by it. So they gave us that green, nice model that you see there. And then I'm a machinist by trade and a welder, and I knew that it takes a 5-axis mill to machine this part after we make it. We don't own a 5-axis mill at our facility. And what I couldn't wrap my head around is, I know when someone does machine it with a 5-axis mill, they're going to have to create a tool path. How are they going to create a tool path with what I'm about to give them? So I couldn't wrap my head around it, and Jason and I were speaking, and if you're a member of Llama, Llama gets to help you with a project every year. It's part of your membership. And I told Jace, I was like, hey, I know you were a former Six Sigma Black, Green Belt. Green Belt,
yeah.
I don't know exactly what that means, but I know it's awesome. But I said, I need help with this. Do you have any idea how we can do this? This can be your thing for us this year. And he goes, yeah, I know exactly a shop to send it to. I know the right people. We're going to get this done. So in a matter of days, I had to scan, first of all, the after the printed model, which is the one in the blue. And because they created a tool path using both scan models. They have the model of what we want, and then they have the model that I gave them that's the overbuilt part. And that gives them the tool path without cutting too much in their mill and breaking a bit off or anything like that. So what you see in the last photo is what we have there on the right.
This piece right here.
Yep. So we're not talking about a crazy expensive part, but we do have parts that fit in the palm of your hand that cost about as much as a 3/4 ton diesel truck, brand new. And we do have parts that have that cost and like a 10-month lead time. So that's horrible when you tear something down in our machine shop, right? And a vendor tells you, we'll have this part for you in 10 months. So you gather all your pump parts up and throw it on a pallet, and you sit there and wait for 10 months before you can put your machine back in service. So with this workflow right here, we're talking days, not weeks, months, days. And probably what some of the people in here are wondering is, what are we doing about testing here? Because you're not doing anything. Well, this was just to show the workflow that we could do it. But what we would do if we're really using this part in service is you would see that middle picture there that shows the printed part. You would see 2 inducers on one build plate, one to use, one to be destroyed for testing purposes, and then you would see some tensile test bars sticking up that we printed during the print for tensile and whatever elongation testing that anybody wants to do. So we are fully qualifying these parts before they go into service.
So Chris, I'm seeing a cast and I'm seeing Inconel. So you were able to upgrade the material and still be cheaper?
Yes. Yes. So welding wire in this machine is the substrate, and it's already qualified welding wire. It can be picked up at the welding supply store down the street from wherever you're at, which makes it much easier. When we talk about some of these other parts that are on Jace's table that look better than these parts aesthetically without being machined, that machine costs as much as Shaquille O'Neal's house or the nicest house on the LSU lakes. That's the range.
Yeah, the machines go up in price. You know, it depends what you're trying to accomplish. But we work with you guys to figure out the best route possible, most efficient as for time and money, and then help you guys execute this. And then you own the IP after that. We write the process maps for you. You guys implement this to your next workflow. So everybody knows what they're doing. It's no guessing, and we could turn around stuff very quick. On our next slide, we're talking about this drop gate that Exxon created, and it's very creative how they thought of this process and how they utilized it and reduced weight and made something. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with CNC machining, but you can look at that part, that drop gate on the right side, left side. That was CNC machined out of one billet. So you can imagine the time that went into that, hours and hours of cutting the stainless steel down until you got this pattern that it showed. So Chris, can you go over how 3D printing benefited this item and how y'all were creative in utilizing the tools?
Yeah, so this machine prints titanium, it prints Inconel tool steels, it prints stellite, it prints tungsten carbide, almost anything you can imagine it can print it. But tungsten was really, I mean, titanium was never really in our vocabulary because the bar stock and the plate is so expensive. So anytime someone validated that, carbon or stainless steel would work for a part, and then they said, well, we're going to see if we can lightweight it because it needs to be lighter, they would jump immediately to aluminum. They wouldn't even think about titanium because it was so expensive in that form. But titanium welding wire seems to be pretty cheap, so I never thought we would print any of it, and we seem to be just about printing every other print in titanium just because people know we can lightweight parts now with it. But instead of just printing the whole plate, the whole door, we printed the framework of the door on top of our build plate, and then we just water jet cut and EDM cut the build plate the same thickness it became the door.
Wow, that's cool. That's really innovative, utilizing the tools that you already have and really minimizing your material usage. That's another key feature with additive manufacturing. You're only utilizing what you need, so that's why the price goes down. We got one more slide we'll look at before we wrap it up. This is showing the inducer in the metal printed stage and also laser powder bed. So if you look at the one that's next to the one with the dots on it, that is laser powder bed fusion. So that part came out that machine exactly like that. No post-processing, it's done out of Inconel metal. That process was done in 5 days. He had to go all the way to Canada to do this. So what we're asking you guys to do is join Llama. Our vision is to set up a center right here in Baton Rouge that all these petrochem companies that are here be able to utilize for R&D, figuring out problems, solving problems like this through their membership. We did these great, I want to thank Exxon 100 times for their support of Llama, constant involvement. That's the only way we grow and build, is if we get involved and tackle these problems together, control our supply, have it printed, made domestically, local, keeping our money here. Stay creative, be innovative. Let's bring these ideas to the table. Don't just hold them. Let everybody know your problems so we could come up with creative solutions to solve them. Thank GBRIA 100% for having us involved. It truly means a lot to us and a lot to our state by incorporating this technology and giving our industries the tools they need to be successful.
We have a great crowd today. We have a lot of people with interesting topics that are appropriate for our industry, and that's important. So we can take this information back to our owner groups and also to the contract groups and implement that across our workforce and across all the industry that we have here in the greater Baton Rouge area. Join us at Tech Next in 2027. It's a great event, and you'll learn a lot, and you'll make some contacts that are good for you, for your business, and really for your company in the future.
I'd love people to realize that some of the answers to their problems, they don't have to find them in big, major metropolitan areas. There's people right here in our own region that can solve some of your technology problems and give you the answers that you're looking for. If anyone's interested in coming back next year, then definitely follow us on our LinkedIn and Facebook pages. It's Greater Baton Rouge Industry Alliance, and we'll post whenever registration opens up. And then if you want to be a part of all of our events, then partnerships are certainly available.
Today's turnout is fantastic. The room is full, people are excited and energized by what's next. For more information about GBRIA, the New Orleans Region Industry Alliance, or Tech Next, please visit our website at GBRIA.org.